Hi, welcome to the Mishnah on Chaf Amud Bet. This video will just quickly review the Mishnah. Kol hayom kasher l'kriyat Megillah. The whole day is kosher, is an acceptable time for reading Megillah. We've already learned that it has to be done during the day, so any time during the day is fine. L'kriyat Hallel, and also for the recitation of Hallel. Ula shofar, and you can also do tkiyat shofar, blowing shofar anytime during the day. Ula netilat lulav, and shaking the lulav, also when you're obligated to do that, it can be done anytime during the day. Ula tfilat musafin, and for the additional prayers, tfilat musaf. Ula musafin, and for the musafin themselves, these would be the musaf sacrifices, the musaf korbanot. Ula vidui haparim, and for the confession that is said over the offering of cows or of bulls. We'll read Rashi on this. Vidui parim, par helem davar shel tzibor, upar kohen mashiach. So these are two different kinds of bull offerings that are being referred to. One is called par helem davar shel tzibor, and the other is par kohen mashiach. So if the par helem davar shel tzibor is if the Sanhedrin makes an error in terms of their ruling, like they paskin incorrectly, and people rely on the ruling of the Sanhedrin, and so in so doing they're over an avera, they do something wrong, and then eventually they realize it. So then the Sanhedrin brings this communal sin offering, which is called par helem davar shel tzibor. And par kohen mashiach is a similar situation where the Kohen Gadol made a mistaken halachic decision, so that he violated some kind of mitzvah. So too he would bring this par Kohen Mashiach. So in either case, shemitzvah din alav chet sheviyu alav. In either case, you admit your sin, you confess the sin over this sacrifice, as is described in Masechet Yoma v'hivadel chatzad avon. So you actually have to do a verbal admission. It says here that the priest atones for him. And then elsewhere it references standing before God on Yom HaKippurim in order to atone. Malahalan kaparat svarim uvayom. So just as there, it's talking about kaparat svarim, a verbal atonement, meaning confession, and it's talking about doing it during the day. So too here. So again, just to know what this case is, vidui parim is these confessions that are recited over cows or bulls that are being brought as a korban for having committed some kind of transgression. So all these things, again, can be done anytime during the day. Ulavidui maser, and also the confession or admission that is brought over maser. So this is described in Zvarim, that when you, after you've finished giving all your maser in the 4th and 7th years of the Shemitah cycle, there's a kind of a declaration that said, Bi'arti HaKodesh Min HaBayit, that I've given all the tithes that I'm meant to give. So that also must be done during the day, but can be done anytime during the day. Ulavidui Yom HaKippurim, and also another kind of verbal atonement, Vidui Yom HaKippurim, the confession that the Kohen Gadol recites over his sacrifices on Yom HaKippurim, L'smicha, and also for leaning on a korban, that's a necessary step in korbanot, leaning on the korban, L'shchita, the slaughter, obviously sacrifices also have to be slaughtered, so the slaughter of sacrifices, Litznufa, for waving, certain sacrifices have to be waved. So, for example, the Korban Omer has to be waved. Certain pieces of it have to be waved, so that can be done during the day, but it can be done anytime during the day. Lahagasha, for literally bringing close or bringing near. It's a reference for bringing the mincha offering near the altar, which we'll see described more later on. But basically, it's a part of the process of offering the mincha. The kmitza, also kmitza has to be done during the day, but can be done anytime. That's scooping the flour for the mincha offering. The haktara, for burning again, burning the mincha offering, the meal offering on the mizbeach. That also has to be done during the day, but can be done anytime during the day. The malika, for removing the head of a bird, which is done with a finger. So that can be done anytime during the day. It's like shechting, but for a bird. The kabbalah, and for collecting the blood of a sacrifice. Generally speaking, the blood of sacrifices has to be collected in some way. Ula hazaya, and for sprinkling, which also sprinkling the blood is often part of sacrifices. Ula hashkayat sota, and for giving a sota her special drink to drink. A sota is a woman whose husband warned her that he was suspicious of her, and then she's known to have been secluded with a man, and so there's no proof that she actually was adulterous, but there's grounds for suspicion, and she has to drink this special drink. So the Kohen Gadol gives her, or the Kohanim, I think, just give her this drink, and that has to be during the day as well. Ula arifat ha'egla, and for removing the head of a calf, which is a ritual that's done if a dead body is found outside city limits between two cities, then the elders of the closest city have to cut off the head of a calf, and they make a declaration about not being responsible for this dead body. So that also happens during the day. Ula taharat hamitzorah, and also for the process of purifying of a mitzorah, which we know something about from earlier in the year. So the whole day is kosher for all of those things. And just adding on, Rashi says, even though we uphold the principle, we believe in the principle that zrizin makdim mitzvot. Some people rush to do mitzvot. People who are eager to do mitzvot rush to do them earlier, and that's a good thing. Dichtiv vayashkem Avraham baboker. As it says, Avraham got up early in the morning. Right, Avraham got up early in the morning. That was in response to God's command to go sacrifice Yitzchak, and that's considered a good thing. Afil hachi kasher kol hayom. So l'chachila, ideally you would do it early in the morning, but it's kosher to do it all day. Now we're going to talk about the night. Kol halayla kasher l'ktzirat ha'omer. The whole night is kosher for harvesting the omer, the grain, the amount of barley that has to be brought after the first day of Pesach. So you have to reap that grain at night. And the whole night is also kosher for burning fats and the limbs, the fats and limbs of sacrifices, which have to be burnt the night after the sacrifice is offered. So you can do that all night long. Zehaklal. Here's the general rule. Davar shemitzvato bayom, kasher kol hayom. Something where the mitzvah is to do it during the day. So it is kosher to do it all day long. And davar shemitzvato balayla, something which you're commanded to do at night, kasher kol halayla, your command is to do it at night. Rashi gives you a little bit more information here, but those are the important Rashis, and that's the basics on this Mishnah. We'll stop here.